The leash hit the floor with a heavy thud, but Hiro didn't budge. He just stared at the open door as if the sunlight outside was a physical wall he couldn't break through.
Let's go for walkies. Come on, Hiro. Let's go for a walk. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
The afternoon sun streams through the doorway, but Hiro remains anchored to the shadows of the hallway. His breathing is shallow, a rhythmic hitch in his chest that betrays a silent internal panic. His paws are tucked tightly beneath his frame, and his eyes, wide, glass, and fixed, refuse to look at the world beyond the threshold. To any observer, he looks defiant, perhaps even stubborn or aggressive, as he bared his teeth slightly when the collar was brought near. The air is thick with the scent of old leather and the metallic tang of fear. You might think this is a dog who hates the world, a creature so broken by the streets that he has turned his back on nature itself. But Hiro wasn't fighting the walk. He was desperately trying to protect the only four walls that had ever promised he wouldn't be discarded again. Is this a case of irreparable psychological trauma, or is it the most profound act of loyalty a dog can show? In the back corner of a crowded municipal shelter, Hiro sat in total silence. While the surrounding kennels erupted in a frantic symphony of barks and metal scratching, he remained motionless, his head resting on his paws with an expression of total resignation. He was the invisible dog, the one potential adopters passed by without a second glance. For the couple standing before his cage, choosing Hiro meant ignoring the warnings of friends who cautioned that an unsocialized rescue would demand an exhausting investment of time, finances, and emotional stability. They looked at the vacant stare of a dog who had stopped asking for help and decided that he was the one who needed it most. The transition from the shelter to a home was not the cinematic celebration many expect. The car ride was a tense, silent affair, filled with the smell of industrial disinfectant and the frantic clicking of Hiro's claws against the upholstery. Upon entering the house, Hiro did not explore or wag his tail. Instead, he bolted for the darkest corner of the living room, his body vibrating with such intensity that his teeth could be heard chattering in the quiet house. The rescue had been successful, but the dog remained a prisoner of his own nerves. The struggle intensified over the following weeks. Each time the leash was produced, Hiro's reaction was visceral. He would collapse into a heap, his eyes rolling back, or scramble backward with enough force to injure himself. From the sidewalk, neighbors watched the daily battle, some offering pitying looks while others whispered that the dog was broken beyond repair. A professional trainer assessed the situation and gave a grim prognosis. Hiro was living in a state of permanent neurological stress, and it was possible he would never be a normal pet. The house felt less like a home and more like a recovery ward where the patient refused to heal. The explanation for Hiro's behavior finally arrived via a phone call to the shelter's intake department. Records revealed that Hiro hadn't been abused by a stranger. He had lived his entire life with a man on the streets who loved him. The man had surrendered Hiro only because he could no longer provide the basic safety of a roof and a meal. One afternoon, the usual routine changed. Instead of trying to lead him out, the owner simply sat on the floor with the leash. Hiro didn't flee. He crept forward, picked up the leather strap in his mouth, and dropped it into a lap before leaning his entire weight against his new family. The realization was immediate. Hiro's refusal to walk was not a fear of the world, but a profound, desperate love for the indoors. He wasn't resisting the walk. He was resisting the possibility of being left outside again. To him, the leash was not a symbol of freedom, but a tool for relocation. His perceived stubbornness was actually an act of total devotion to the first permanent walls he had ever known. Today, Hiro does venture outside, though his pace is slow and his eyes always remain fixed on the front door. He has learned to trust the leash, but only because he knows it eventually leads back to the rug in the living room. Most people saw a dog that was too damaged to live, but the reality was a dog who had finally found something worth staying for. It serves as a reminder that the most significant journey is not the miles traveled outside, but the short distance a heart travels when it finally feels safe enough to stay home.
Okay. Get that stick, Hero. You got it.
Good boy!
Boy, Hero.
Good boy! Come on!
Good boy, Hero. Oh, good boy.
Good boy, Hero.